poo, poo. That's a mess. Whatever. We're here to talk about all the books I have read in July and August. Yes, during the 2 months, because I did not do a wrap-up video at the end of July, beginning of August, whatever. So both together. And where's my laptop, because I can't remember what I've read. What's up? Hope you guys. So today we're gonna talk about all the books I have read in July and August. So if I'm right, I've read 9 books in July and 6 in August. Look at that. I have read in July 9 books, but I have read 3,798 pages. In August, I've read only 6 books, but I've read 3,583 pages. So very close. So yes, I've read chunkier books in August. Yeah, I did not DNF books in July or August, so 0 DNFs. They were all in English, obviously. You got some 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, and also 3 2 stars, but 2 of them are not real 2 stars. I will explain why now, but let's just jump into it. So apparently the first book I have read, and that was actually gifted to me by Lucienne. So again, thank you so much for the book. But this is Silver in the Wood. And Silver is actually a name. It's not like you're gonna find silver in the wood. It's the name of a person, which was actually a bit confusing at the very beginning. But I want to say confusing for my brain. But I am sure you're not gonna be confused or whatever. But it's super short and I gave it 4 stars. Something was missing for me to make get like quite 5 stars, but I felt it was so magical and so peaceful at the same time. You're gonna follow the story of one guy who is linked to the forest, like in some way, and he's gonna befriend a guy who's telling him stories about him because he's some kind of legend or whatever. Not a legend like he did something huge or whatever, but more of a legend like in folk tales or whatever, because he's part of the forest, so he's something more than just what you might think he is or whatever. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the little bit of the magic I got. I loved the relationships between the different characters. I loved the way it was written, and I loved that it had like an emotional side of the story, but you also get like the scientific, more of a like librarian research kind of point of view, which I really enjoyed. So yes, 4 stars. Then we have Thunderhead, which I have read and loved. I gave it 5 stars because that ending was what the fuck. So I read Scythe for a collaboration video. I loved it. I fell in love with it. I gave it 4 stars though. Then I read Thunderhead because I really want to continue with the series, especially because it's sci-fi, one of my favorite genre that I don't read enough of, and especially because I don't usually love dystopian kind of thing, but this one is more of a utopia than dystopia, but it's linked to dystopia because you cannot have utopia, whatever. I love it. I love it. And the ending was like, when that happened, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? I need to know what's gonna happen next. So I immediately picked up The Toll. So I wanted to read that book so bad, so The Toll, but I was like, no, you need to take a break. You have other books you really need to read and blah, blah, blah. And then I read another book that I did not enjoy. And I don't know if I did not enjoy the book that much, because I was like, my mind was somewhere else and I wanted to read The Toll, or just because it wasn't that good for me, for my taste, whatever. But actually I feel like that book wasn't for me. But wow, oh, okay, relax, focus. The Toll. So I read The Toll and I gave it 4 stars. I totally get why people did not enjoy that ending. I agree and disagree with you. I just found the ending, without spoilers, whatever, that it was fitting where the story was going, and some of the discussions that happened before in the book or in the series. So I found it quite fitting. It might not be the best ending for all of you. It might be like an easy ending or what the heck ending or a very hard ending, whatever that's gonna be for you. For me, it was actually fitting. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but 4 stars because there were some details I was like, I'm not sure about that. But overall, I really loved it, and I'm so happy that I can add that series to my series I finished in 2021 list. So that's really good. But I would highly recommend Scythe, even if you're like a sci-fi newbie. And now I'm debating if I want the physical copies of Scythe on my shelves or not. So let me know if I should get them or not. I don't know. But the book I was talking about, like that I've read in between The Toll and Thunderhead, that I did not enjoy quite a lot, is like City of Rest. I mean, quite a lot. I gave it 3 stars, but I feel like it's a weak 3 stars, almost a 2 stars. It is a mid-grade, and the synopsis had everything to make it an amazing series, amazing book, whatever. I think it's a standalone. It's a sci-fi. You have a mechanical gecko in it, and you have a girl who needs to like save her family and friends, and it's about friendship and love and trust and adventures and, you know, finding a way to survive and to make things right. I don't know, I just felt like I was outside of the series the whole time, like I was watching everything from above and didn't feel and didn't care at all. So that was quite weird. I feel like the writing style was weird, and that's what did not work for me. Yeah, I'm sad about it. The cover is gorgeous, but at least I tried. Then we have the book that we have read for the Howling Pack, which is Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levensetter. So I gave it 4 stars. Yes, I really enjoyed it. I cannot remember what bothered me. Actually, I feel like it was sometimes how it came out of the blue, and how some point of views or some answers were like, does that even make sense? Is that logical? I feel like the logical part of the book was like lower for me, but I really enjoyed it, and I love the characters. It has a disability representation in it, and it's basically the story of 2 sisters who are living alone, and one of them has a power. She can, when creating a blade, put some magic in them, and they will hold that magic and do things for their owner, kind of thing. And something goes bad because she meets someone who wants something, but that person is not a good person. So what is she gonna do? And that's kind of the whole thing. And I really enjoyed the interactions with other characters they're gonna meet on their way. And I love that it's about trust, but also sometimes how you have to have a little bit of faith. I would not say trust, but faith in people you don't know and you're not quite sure if you can trust them. So I really enjoyed that. There is a little bit of love in it, but I did not mind it because I think it has to do with Trisha Levensetter's way of writing that makes the love story in her stories not that heavy. Whatever, really enjoyed it. So this one got 3 stars. This is a sequel to Hazel in the Wood, the Hazelwood. Yeah, the Hazel in the Wood. Hazelwood, whatever. Quite a controversial book, but I gave it 3 stars. And I gave 3 stars to this one as well. I feel like this one was a bit darker than the first one and made a bit more sense than the first one. Especially because like the first one, I really loved the first part and got lost in the second part. This one, it was like consistent, whatever. I really love that it was darker and that like the turn and the twists were super good. Like too many twists at the same time. So I feel that's why I lowered the grade. But I love the darker side, but too many twists sometimes kill the twists, if that makes any sense. But I really loved it, and I really want to read, what is it, the Tales of Hinterland or whatever? Like just the tales of the hinterland in the book. Does that make sense? Whatever. There is a book with all the tales that are coming from the stories, like the duology that she wrote, and that I want to get to. So, and beautiful cover as well. So then we have our first 2 stars, which is the only true 2 stars, and it is Vow So Bold and Deadly. Like the first book, I gave it 5 stars. The second book, I believe it was a 3 stars, and this one was a 2 stars because it just did not make sense for me, and I was bored. But at the same time, once you get to know the characters, like throughout the series, their reactions, their way of thinking, and their actions were logical in some way, but bothered me in another way. I lost interest in that series, and I lost interest for so many different reasons. I'm not gonna explain them because spoilers, obviously my belly is hungry, I'm sorry for that. But I don't know, things here, I feel like this should have been a different series. I know you're gonna follow the same characters, but you get so much more from the others. I don't know how to explain that. 2 stars, I was bored. Then obviously we have Malice, which was a 5 stars. So basically adult high fantasy, epic fantasy, and everything is happening in a world where there was a world 1000 years ago between the humans and some creatures and the giants, and apparently some of them are coming back. Giants are going through cities and destroying everything, and weird creatures that were supposed to be gone are coming back. So the High King that was like chosen 1000 years ago and generation after generation, generations, whatever, is gonna call all the different kings from the different like provinces, kingdoms or whatever, and gather them together in order to talk about what to do, how to protect themselves, and blah 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 blah, you know, the army, military things, and you know, to protect the innocent and the people and the families and blah blah. And it's so much more than that. And I love that you're gonna follow so many characters, so it might be a bit confusing, especially the first 100 pages. You will be like, I don't understand the connections between all the characters. I don't understand the connections between the different POVs and the different places and what's going on and the army there and the king there, and you're not gonna understand quite a bit, a lot, whatever. And I would say it's absolutely normal. It was actually the case for a lot of us, but the writing style was amazing and what I was reading about was amazing. And you're gonna follow some, like, obviously specific characters, but there is like a huge cast of characters and names to remember, but it's gonna be easier while you go through the book. I fell in love with some of the characters. I'm absolutely in love with the series. I mean, the first book at least. I haven't started the other one yet, but it's so different and I feel like it has everything in it that I miss in YA, like so much more about the world building and the world they're living in and the way they live, the system in general, and also you get to learn much more about the characters and you get to see them grow so much more in such a lower pace, I want to say. So I really enjoyed that series. I would highly recommend, and we are not buddy reading it, read alonging it, so it's gonna be linked down below. Oh, and then yes, there is one more book that I have read in July and not the book that I've read in August, but I'm gonna talk about them together because they're part of the same series and they both take 2 stars. So it's The Reaper at the Gates and The Sky Beyond Storm. So I gave them both 2 stars on the Copal system, but on Goodreads I did not rate them. Like, I love the very first book, An Ember in the Ashes. I did not enjoy the second book, and I believe that at that point, if it wasn't for a read along, I would have the end of the series. So I forced kind of myself to actually continue with the series because of the read along and my friends I was reading the series with. It wouldn't be fair, I feel, to rate that series because I did not enjoy it. I read it for the read along and for the live shows and to be able to talk about what I liked and disliked in these books with my friends. So no ratings on Goodreads, but 2 stars for me. I just didn't care about anything happening in it, but it doesn't mean that I did not enjoy some things or that I did not find some things really interesting or really well done. I will link down below all the live shows that we had, in which you can see that even if I did not enjoy the book, I saw brilliant things that the author has done, or that the characters were like good or bad at that moment or whatever. Like, check the live shows if you have read the books because they're full of spoilers, obviously. But that's a series I'm glad I have read, especially because it was with friends, but that's not a series that was for me, unfortunately. But I can add it to the books, I mean the series I finished in 2021. Oh yeah, then we have 3 books that some of you will be excited about. I'm not gonna talk much about them because there is a reading blog for them, but I've read so that series in a week or so. You're gonna see the reading vlog dedicated to that series. So The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero Ages by Brandon Sanderson. So the first era, I really cannot wait to continue with the second era, whatever. But just as a spoilers, it wasn't a 5 stars. None of the books were 5 stars for me. But it's gonna come, like, give me some time to edit the vlog, especially because while filming the clips for the last book, I feel like my camera died and I really hope I can use the footage that I took. So pray for me. That's why the video is not up yet, because I'm scared to actually see that I have nothing. So yeah, That themed vlog was actually requested by Cleo. I will link her channel down below. She requested actually that I read the Final Empire within a certain amount of time, you know, a time frame, whatever, but I decided to read all 3 of them. So if you want to see how that went, the video is coming. I swear it's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. Oh, then there is another themed vlog that is coming to you, and it was requested by Ashley, and it was for the Diviners, which she asked me to actually listen to the audiobook, and I was actually listening to it while driving back from Bosnia to Belgium, and for 18 hours, something like that, and I finished the audiobook and I gave it 3 stars. You're gonna have more details in the vlog, and same as the vlog for the Final Empire, both of the vlogs are spoiler free, so I managed to keep them spoiler free, so that's coming to you. But overall, I really love the audiobook. I found the audiobook really good. A few things bother me, so we'll explain everything in the blog. Then for the Readathons, so the Meltdown, I managed to read 1 book. Actually, I started a vlog for that one, but I completely failed because I forgot that I had to read The Sky Beyond Storms. It was like the day before the live, and we were talking on Twitter, and I was like, wait, the live show is tomorrow? I have not started the book yet. So I kind of missed on the Meltdown for the obligations, but that's okay. Readathons is only a few months away. But I managed to read 1 book, and this was The Last Bear, which was 5 stars. I cried. I just cried. It got me so emotional at the end, and it's like a fiction, obviously, because it's a girl with a little bear, with a huge bear on an island, but it's also not so fictional because it's about helping the animals surviving their environments that we as humans are destroying. It's beautiful. It's about meltdown, like the weather, the change in the weather, and I love it. I'm not gonna cry, so I'm gonna stop talking about this one, but beautiful book, and it has beautiful illustrations, and it's just like, yeah, see the bear here. But yeah, absolutely amazing book. I highly recommend it, and you can read it in 3 hours, less than 3 hours. And I feel there is an audiobook. Did I listen to the audiobook while reading the book? Might be what happened. And then at the end of August, I started American Gods. I had read like 2 or 3 chapters at a time, so all the rest was read in September. So it's gonna be part of another wrap up. But that's pretty much it for all the books I have read in July and August. So I feel like I try to make it like as short as possible and not to talk too much about all the books, because you're not here for like in-depth reviews. I could do, if there is a book you would like for me to do a review of, because you would like to hear my thoughts more in depth or whatever, just let me know. That would be a pleasure to answer your request. But yeah, let me know what you have read, what you have enjoyed, what you have not enjoyed, what you were supposed to read but did not read. You know, just talk to me in the comment section as usual. Summer is over. I know that technically it's not over, but it's over. But yeah, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the pack. Talk to me in the comment section as usual. And until next time, take care, wolves.